Hi, Alex here from Rebeloper.com and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this first episode on this series about SwiftUI in UIKit. You heard that right, SwiftUI in UIKit with the help of DuckUI. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, everybody. So, SwiftUI in UIKit. You already know that you can have UIKit in SwiftUI, but can you have SwiftUI in UIKit? Well, you kind of can, because I am building and I will be constantly building this framework out, and it is called DuckUI. Now go ahead and take a look at it on my GitHub repository, and all of the resources can be found down below in the description. You just click the link and you will be taken to our YouTube resources page. Okay, now what is DuckUI? Well, basically is SwiftUI for UIKit, and in this series I will dive deep into explaining how you can use it and why you should use it, and why it is much faster than regular UIKit components, and well, building all of those components out, and much more. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to see more videos on your feed as they do come out, because there will be many. So DuckUI, it can be installed via CocoaPod, and today we are just going to install it and take a look at one of the most important elements of DuckUI, and that is the DViewcontroller. So let's see, there we go. Here you can see, if you take a look at, this is my development pod, by the way, and here we have our D_viewcontroller. From now on I would just say DViewcontroller or the D style or D type alias and so on. So these for Duck, if you haven't noticed already. So let me just create a brand new project, and let's see. I will choose a single view application. Yeah, if you don't know how to create your custom Xcode templates, go ahead and click the links down below. You can see how you can do that. And I will name this SwiftUI in UIKit with DuckUI. A lot of UIs there, but it is SwiftUI in UIKit with DuckUI. It's kind of a counter-camel case there. Okay, and yeah, I will embed this in a navigation controller, or let's not embed this, because we will take a look at a simple view controller and we will talk about a safe area layout guide. So let's click on next here, and I will just drop it. Where will I drop it? On my YouTube's video. There we go, under code. And I will create a Git repository so you can take a look at it later down the line on GitHub. So let's create that. There we go. First of all, let's close this because we want to install CocoaPod there. So let's close this, hit Command. Let me just find terminal real quick and navigate to our project's root folder, and that is this one. So type in cd and a space as usual, drag and drop the root folder, hit return, type in pod init, and the pod file will be created as so. Let's open this up in Xcode. Let the platform be iOS 12, and yeah, what you need to add in here is pod, and it's simple, DuckUI. There we go. Let's close this. Let's go back to terminal and type in pod install. Okay, and as you can see, it is downloading DuckUI. Current version is 0.1.46, and many changes will occur, hopefully not breaking changes, but do take in mind that this video has been recorded with version 0.1.46, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible. But there will be more awesome features. Of course, I will create videos on those too. And DuckUI uses something called bond and differ and reactive kit, and we will talk about them later down the line. So that being said, let's open up our Xcode workspace here, and you will see, let me just resize this finally. And yeah, that is how easy it is to add DuckUI. And of course, just one last thought here under terminal. If you see that a newer release has been added, just type in pod update like so and hit return. Maybe I will just hit return, but pod update. There we go. And all of the pods will be updated on your project. So that being said, let me just show you what we have here. Basically, we have an app delegate that is having the root view controller as the Windows root view controller. And yeah, basically that is it. What we need to do here first is import a DuckUI, and let's change the UIViewnController parent to D_viewcontroller. Now, DViewcontroller has some awesome properties that you can use. First of all, it has the white background, and let me just run this so you can see out of the box. And it has some functions that you can override, and we will go through them today. So let's just wait for this to build out. The simulator, it is launching. Till then, let's just, yeah, it is launching. We can wait for that. And yeah, basically that is it. A whole white screen, not the black screen that the usual view controller has. We do have the background set to be white. Now, if you start typing in here setup, you will see that we have a setup views with save area. So let's hit on that and override that. First thing you can do is type in super.setupViews with save area, and if you wanted to, you can use this plain old save area that we get from here. But for our case, and in most cases that I see, you want to set your own save area rule. So for now, let's just dive into those options. So let's hit that button, and as you can see, we have all button, horizontal, leading, none, top, trailing, vertical, pretty self-explanatory. So let's choose all for now and see how that looks. But to see that, of course, we need to add some views in there. And another interesting part of DViewcontroller is that it comes with a ready-made container view. So if you start typing in container, you will see that here we have our container, and let's set our container's background color to be, let's say, purple. There we go. And that will show off the save area that we had here. So let's hit Command R or just click on the play button so we can see all of these changes. As you can see, we have our save areas. Well, the container is and as you can see here, we have our container edged to the save area. And let me just hit Command and an arrow here so we can see that indeed we have the save areas in landscape mode too. How awesome is that? Let's change that back here. Cool. Let me just move that there. And yeah, that is one that you need to be aware of, one function, set up views. We will be setting up views here, and it will be pretty awesome, SwiftUI-like. You will like it. Just subscribe and hit the notification bell to see the news videos on your YouTube feed. Now, some other functions that I want to cover here briefly, just so you know that we do have them, is something called observe. And you know, SwiftUI is kind of reactive functional programming, has this reactive functional programming style, and we will be using Bond and Reactive Kit intensively to observe some things in our app that they do come out. So let's have here super.observe, and the other one is bond. So we can bond things together now with SwiftUI. Let's say a text labels, so a labels text can be bound to a simple string, and we will talk about that later down the line. So we have a bond here too. So let's add super bond here. And finally, if you are kind of old school, or for some use cases you want to fetch some data manually, not with bond or maybe with observe, you can have this fetch data function. So super.fetch data. So these are the functions that you can override in DViewcontroller, and they are pretty awesome. And this is the basic setup of a DViewcontroller, and I highly recommend that you do use DViewcontroller. It's just a simple subclass of UIViews with these powerful, I believe, overridden functions. Now that is it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell to get notified of new videos, because I will post a lot of videos on DuckUI. Of course, that is SwiftUI in UIKit. Well, kind of. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below about DuckUI or SwiftUI or even UIKit and how I implemented all of this to make DuckUI possible for you. And as always, I will see you in the next one.